Welcome the rare gems. Some people meet and change each other. Others meet and remember who they really are. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, it's not a love story you see every day. It's something deeper, quieter, and almost sacred. Both have walked through life, carrying a strange mix of strength and solitude. They've built peace from chaos, learned to rely on themselves, and accepted that not everyone will understand their silence. A Sigma female isn't looking for attention, she's looking for alignment. She values presence over promises and truth over charm. And when she meets a Sigma male, she doesn't feel the need to explain herself. He already gets it. He's been through the same kind of isolation that taught him independence without bitterness. Together they don't complete each other, they recognize each other. This kind of bond doesn't scream for attention. It grows in quiet rooms, long conversations, and shared silence that feels like home. It's two people who don't try to control one another, but still choose to stand side by side. If you've ever felt like your standards are too high or your peace too sacred, this video will remind you that people like you do exist. Stay till the end, because what happens when a Sigma female finds her Sigma male isn't about romance. It's about recognition, reflection, and realizing that the kind of connection you once thought was impossible is actually real. Let's dive into it. The rare gems. Number 1. The bond feels ancient, not new. There's a strange calm that fills the air when a Sigma female meets her Sigma male. It's not the rush most people talk about when they find someone new. There's no dizzy excitement or nervous energy. Instead, it feels like something old and familiar has finally found its way back home. The bond feels ancient, not new. It carries a quiet weight, like the echo of something that has existed long before either of them could explain it. When they lock eyes, there's an instant understanding, an unspoken, "I see you." Not the surface kind of seeing, but the kind that recognizes every layer, every scar, every silence. It doesn't feel like meeting someone for the first time. It feels like remembering someone you once knew deeply, but lost along the way. As if their souls have been walking through different paths, searching without knowing what for, only to collide again in this lifetime. What makes this connection so rare is that it's not built on need. Neither of them is trying to fill an emptiness. They are complete on their own, but together they become amplified. Their energies blend like two streams meeting and flowing as one current, stronger but still distinct. The peace that comes from this bond is hard to describe. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's the kind of peace that silences your overthinking and makes you feel grounded just by being near the other person. This is what makes people stare without understanding. There's no performance here, no trying too hard, no games to play. It's something deeper, something that feels written in a language only they can read. And when a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, it's not a new story beginning. It's an old one finally continuing where it left off. Number 2. Power isn't a struggle anymore. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, something powerful but unusual happens. The endless tug of control that ruins most relationships simply disappears. Both of them have spent years mastering independence, protecting their peace, and standing tall on their own terms. They are used to being the ones who hold it together when everything falls apart. But when they meet each other, that constant need to prove, to lead, or to dominate suddenly feels unnecessary. Power stops being a game, it becomes balance. There is no silent competition between them, no battle of who's more intelligent, wiser, or emotionally tougher. Each sees strength in the other, not as a threat, but as a reflection. The Sigma female respects his calm authority because it doesn't come from ego, it comes from self-control. The Sigma male admires her quiet confidence because it's rooted in self-awareness, not performance. Together they create a space where both can lead without anyone having to follow. They don't need to outshine each other. They shine differently, and that's enough. Their power isn't loud. It's not about who speaks more or who gets the last word. It's the kind of power that sits in silence and still feels unshakable. In most relationships, one person tends to shrink while the other grows louder. But here, both grow stronger by existing side by side. They don't drain each other's energy. They multiply it. The Sigma male doesn't try to control her freedom. He respects it. The Sigma female doesn't test his strength. She trusts it. That mutual respect turns their connection into something rare. They don't lose themselves to love. They find more of themselves in it. And that's the quiet secret of their bond. When two people who already know their own power meet, control stops mattering. Only peace does. Number 3. They start trusting their intuition more. When a Sigma female meets her Sigma male, something inside both of them begins to awaken. It is not something loud or dramatic. It is quiet, yet powerful. They have always lived by instinct. They trust their gut more than anyone's opinion, and they have learned to listen to that inner voice that most people ignore. But when they find each other, that intuition doesn't just guide them, it sharpens. It feels as though being around the other validates what their spirit has been whispering all along. For the Sigma female, her intuition has always been her compass. She senses when energy feels off, when people hide something, or when situations carry unseen motives. The Sigma male is no different. He reads the room without needing to ask questions. When they come together, they do not doubt their instincts anymore, because now they have someone who sees what they see. It is almost as if their souls recognize the truth before their minds catch up. They begin to move through life with more confidence. Decisions feel clearer. Their inner voice grows louder, stronger, and more certain. The world may think they are overthinkers or too detached, but they know what they feel is accuracy, not paranoia. Together, their clarity deepens. One glance between them can communicate more than a full conversation. This connection is rare because it removes self-doubt. It brings validation without needing words. The Sigma male makes her trust her inner voice more, and she does the same for him. It is not about agreement. It is about alignment. They sharpen each other's instincts the way two blades refine one another. In a world full of noise, confusion, and false signals, they move with quiet certainty. They no longer question whether their gut feeling is right. They know it is, because the other confirms it without even speaking. Number 4. They communicate through observation. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, words start to lose their importance. They can be in the same room, barely speaking, yet both know exactly what the other is thinking. Their connection runs on a level that most people never experience. They communicate through observation, through silence, through energy. She can sense when his mind is heavy without him saying a word. The smallest change in his breathing, a slight drop in his tone, or the way he glances away for a second. She catches it all, and he does the same for her. He notices when her energy softens, when her eyes reveal something her mouth won't say. There's no need for explanations, no need for emotional translations. They simply understand. It is not some mystical trick. It is the result of two people who have spent years mastering awareness. Both are used to reading rooms, sensing moods, and surviving through perception. But together, that awareness becomes something deeper. It turns into a quiet language only they understand. They could be surrounded by a crowd, yet still have a full conversation without uttering a single word. One subtle look can calm an argument before it starts. One quiet glance can say, "I've got you," louder than any promise ever could. This kind of communication is what makes their bond unbreakable. It's built on emotional intelligence, not performance. They do not have to act tough or pretend to be okay. They simply see and respond with presence. It is almost telepathic, not in a supernatural way, but in a deeply human one. Because when two souls understand each other that deeply, speech becomes optional. They connect through awareness, through stillness, through a mutual sensitivity that goes beyond logic. It is not loud love. It is the kind that speaks in silence and still feels like a roar. Number 5. They find comfort in distance. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, something unusual happens. Distance no longer feels like a threat. Most people equate love with constant closeness, endless texting, and daily reassurance. But for them, space is not separation, it is oxygen. They find comfort in distance. It feels natural, almost necessary. They don't panic when apart because they understand that true connection doesn't vanish when silence enters the room. Both have learned to live alone without feeling lonely. They've built inner worlds so rich that solitude feels like a second home. So when they meet, they don't cling out of fear. Instead, they give each other the rare gift of freedom. The Sigma female doesn't need daily proof that she's valued. The Sigma male doesn't need constant reminders of affection. They trust the bond enough to let it breathe. That quiet confidence is what makes their connection powerful. They can go days without talking, yet when they meet again, it feels like they never left. There's no awkwardness, no emotional distance, just a calm understanding that their energy remains linked no matter the miles. It's not disinterest, it's depth. Distance to them is a test of authenticity. If something real exists, time and space won't dissolve it. They know that being constantly present doesn't equal connection, and being apart doesn't mean disconnection. In fact, their time alone often strengthens their bond. It allows reflection, growth, and independence to flourish without guilt. When they finally return to each other's presence, there's a quiet electricity in the air. They don't rush, they don't over-explain, they simply continue from where they paused, as if time folded to bring them back in perfect sync. That is the beauty of their connection. It doesn't depend on proximity. It depends on understanding. And that makes it unbreakable. Number 6. Their love becomes a private rebellion. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, their love doesn't scream for attention. It whispers with intensity. It's not the kind of connection that seeks validation from the world. They don't post it, parade it, or prove it. Their love becomes a private rebellion, something sacred that exists quietly between them, untouchable by the noise around them. In a world obsessed with appearances, where people chase attention instead of depth, they choose privacy as their form of power. They know that the more you expose something rare, the faster the world tries to dilute it. So they protect it. Not because they're hiding, but because they understand that sacred things lose their magic when placed under shallow eyes. Their bond doesn't need constant public performance. It's rooted in understanding, not display. When they're together, it feels like time slows down. They don't need grand gestures or staged perfection. Their connection is felt in simple things. The silence that feels peaceful, the eye contact that says everything, the comfort of being fully seen without filters. There's a quiet defiance in the way they love. They stand against the trend of loud affection that fades once the audience disappears. Their love is calm, grounded, and fiercely private. The world may not understand it, and that's fine with them. They don't love for others to approve. They love to evolve. This kind of connection doesn't crave attention because it already has meaning. It's not about ownership or showmanship. It's about two people who found something real in a world that rewards fake. Their love is their protest. Their silence is their statement. And the way they guard it, without apology, is what makes it unshakably powerful. Number 7. They expose each other's blind spots. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, the connection isn't built on comfort, it's built on truth. Both of them are sharp observers who rarely get challenged by others. Most people either avoid confronting them or get intimidated by their clarity. But when they meet each other, that changes. Suddenly they're face to face with someone who sees through their defenses, someone who isn't afraid to call out what others overlook. They expose each other's blind spots. It's not about criticism or control, it's about growth. Their honesty cuts, but it also heals. When the Sigma male notices her emotional walls, he doesn't attack them. He gently points them out, reminding her that not every moment needs guarding. When she catches him avoiding vulnerability behind logic, she doesn't scold. She mirrors it back, making him see how his own armor isolates him. These moments aren't easy. They create tension, silence, and reflection. But that's where their bond deepens. They don't run from discomfort because they know it's part of evolution. The Sigma connection thrives on authenticity, not convenience. They would rather face painful truth than live in pleasant lies. What makes this dynamic rare is the trust beneath it. They know that each revelation, no matter how uncomfortable, comes from care, not ego. They challenge each other not to win, but to refine. Each conversation becomes a mirror, revealing what they've been too strong or too afraid to see alone. And with every truth shared, they strip away another layer of pretense. What's left isn't perfect, but it's real. In a world full of people who avoid accountability, they find someone who helps them confront it with courage. That's what makes their connection sacred. It's not just love, it's transformation. They don't destroy each other's illusions for fun, they do it to help each other see clearly. Number 8. They create a space where nothing feels forced. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, their connection moves with an ease that's hard to describe. There's no pretending, no pressure to impress, and no need to script the moment. They create a space where nothing feels forced. Everything just flows. Conversations, silence, intimacy, even conflict. It's real, raw, and unpolished, yet deeply grounding. From the start, there's a natural rhythm between them. They don't chase chemistry. It's already there, calm but magnetic. They can talk for hours or sit in complete silence, and both moments feel equally full. The energy between them is steady, not dramatic. They don't push for closeness or demand attention. It happens naturally because they understand each other without trying to control the outcome. Even their disagreements carry a strange peace. They don't shout to be heard. They listen. They don't argue to win. They try to understand. Their connection isn't built on emotional highs and lows, but on balance. There's no act, no emotional performance, just two people unafraid to be exactly who they are. This kind of flow only exists when both have done the inner work to be whole on their own. They don't enter the relationship expecting it to fix them. They bring wholeness, not emptiness. That's why the energy feels clean, unpressured and real. Their space feels like a refuge from the world. There's no competition for attention, no need to prove love through constant noise. They allow each other to breathe, to feel, to exist freely. And because nothing is forced, everything becomes more meaningful. This is what sets their connection apart. It's not perfect, it's honest. It doesn't need to sparkle for others to see. It just exists in its purest form. Two strong souls, completely themselves, creating a rhythm that feels effortless and true. Number 9. They amplify each other's growth. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, growth becomes their love language. They don't come together searching for someone to fill their gaps. They come together to stretch, to evolve, to expand. They amplify each other's growth. Each becomes sharper, calmer, and more grounded in who they already are. They don't complete one another. They enhance what was already strong. The Sigma female has her own rhythm, her own goals, her own fire. She's used to being the one who motivates herself, but when she meets a Sigma male, something shifts. His presence doesn't distract her from her purpose, it fuels it. He doesn't try to lead her, yet somehow she finds herself leveling up just by being around his focus and quiet confidence. And he feels the same. Her strength challenges him to rise higher without feeling attacked. There's no jealousy, no silent competition. They don't dim each other's light to feel balanced. Instead, they push each other forward, often without even realizing it. Their conversations spark ideas. Their silence brings clarity. Their connection creates peace, which allows their minds and spirits to evolve naturally. Being together doesn't make them dependent. It makes them more independent in the right way. They become more self-aware, more emotionally intelligent, and more disciplined. They grow not out of obligation, but because being in the presence of someone equally self-aware demands it. It's not about one fixing the other, it's about sharpening. The Sigma male refines her strength, and she polishes his stillness. Together, they create a balance that feels unstoppable, yet peaceful. This is why their bond stands out. It's not built on need, it's built on growth. They don't lose themselves in love. They evolve through it. And when two people grow while staying true to who they are, their connection becomes more than romantic. It becomes transformational. Number 10. They realize they're not each other's escape, but reflection. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, the connection doesn't feel like a rescue. It feels like recognition. They don't look at each other as an escape from loneliness or pain. They see a reflection. Neither was searching for someone to save them, because both have already learned how to stand alone. What they find instead is someone who mirrors their essence, the calm, the chaos, and the courage that defines who they are. There's an undeniable depth in the way they connect. The Sigma female has spent years learning to find peace in solitude, and the Sigma male has mastered the art of detachment without bitterness. When they meet, it's not about fixing what's broken. It's about seeing what's real. She sees in him the same quiet fire she carries inside herself. He recognizes in her the same unshakable calm that keeps him grounded. It's as if they are two different reflections of the same energy. This kind of connection feels raw because it exposes everything. They see each other's beauty, but also their shadows. There's no hiding behind perfection, no pretending to be less complex than they are. Their relationship becomes a mirror, one that shows both the best and the parts that still need healing. And instead of running from it, they face it together. What makes it so powerful is that neither loses their individuality. They don't merge to escape the world. They unite to understand it better. Their presence doesn't replace their solitude. It enhances it. They still need their space, but now their silence feels shared rather than lonely. They realize that love, at its highest form, isn't about rescue. It's about reflection. It's finding someone who looks into your soul and says, "I see all of you, and I'm not afraid of it." That is the kind of bond that doesn't fade. It evolves. Number 11. Their boundaries match instead of clash. When a Sigma female meets her Sigma male, the first thing they both notice is the quiet strength in each other's boundaries. Neither of them is easy to access, and that's exactly what creates the connection. Their boundaries match instead of clash. Each has spent years building emotional walls, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. They know what it costs to let the wrong person in, so they've learned to protect their peace. But when they find each other, those walls don't feel like barriers. They feel like mutual respect. The Sigma female doesn't rush to open up. She observes. She studies energy before she decides who's safe. The Sigma male understands that, because he's wired the same way. Instead of feeling rejected by her quiet distance, he respects it. He knows what it means to guard something precious. Likewise, she recognizes his stillness not as coldness, but as discernment. They see in each other a discipline most people mistake for detachment. There's no pressure to overshare or force intimacy. They wait for trust to unfold naturally, step by step, with patience and grace. When she lowers her guard, it's not because he demanded it, it's because she feels safe. When he lets her in, it's not because he was lonely, it's because he recognizes her presence as genuine. This unspoken understanding builds a foundation stronger than any rushed connection. They don't need to test or chase, they simply respect the pace of truth. In that patience, something rare happens. Trust becomes effortless. Their boundaries don't divide them, they align them. What makes their connection powerful is that it's built on mutual emotional maturity. They don't see walls as rejection, they see them as proof of value. And when those walls finally lower, it's not chaos that enters, it's peace. In final words, some connections don't need to be chased. They happen when two souls are finally ready to meet. When a Sigma female finds her Sigma male, it isn't fate showing off. It's alignment in motion. Two independent forces finally vibrating on the same frequency. They don't come together because they need each other. They come together because they recognize each other. Both have walked through silence, solitude, and self-mastery. They've faced rejection not because they were unworthy, but because their depth demanded more than most people could handle. Sigma males and females are rare for a reason. They carry a quiet strength that refuses to follow the crowd. They don't need noise to prove power or attention to confirm worth. Their energy speaks through calm confidence and silent focus. And when they meet someone with that same frequency, it feels less like falling in love, and more like remembering who they've always been. Their bond is proof that connection doesn't have to mean control, and love doesn't have to mean losing yourself. It's proof that independence and intimacy can coexist when both people understand their own value. If you are a Sigma male or female watching this, understand this truth. You are not difficult. You are deliberate. You are not distant. You are discerning. The world may not always understand your silence, but the right soul will feel it before you speak. So stay true to who you are, protect your peace, sharpen your purpose, and trust that when the time is right, you'll meet the one who doesn't just see your strength, but mirrors it. Because when two Sigmas find each other, it's not the start of a story, it's the continuation of a legacy that's been waiting to unfold. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.